All right. Now let's take a look at how to use this software to generate GIPS guidelines. First, let's take a look at the GIPS configuration. We click here and find various GIPS configurations. First, we can choose, that is from which year our company started complying with GIPS standards. Now, our current example is that we started complying with GIPS standards from the year 2016. Of course, we can also make other choices. For example, here we can choose the type of GIPS, whether it is audit or non-audit, including from which year it starts and how many years to trace back historically. These can all be selected. You can also choose different fiscal years, but here we don't need to change it. We have a default. Then additionally, we can also configure the GIPS report to set it to different statuses. Generally speaking, there are three statuses. One is in progress, one is completed, and one is cancelled. For example, we can add a new status here called in review, if which also belongs to an ongoing status, right? Or we can add another one called withdrawn. Right, this belongs to a cancelled status. For example, if there has already been set out, then an error is discovered, we would withdraw it. Then we can also set up a company's information disclosure here. We can add different information so that we can introduce what this company is like, and we can also do some add any other type of disclosure, and these disclosures will be included in each GIPS report, and this is at the company level. And as for the disclosure, the fund pool level, of course, each fund is different, but here we can also choose different types. So we can choose mainly from three types: purely textual disclosures, purely numerical disclosure, or both text and numbers. Additionally, we can choose whether it is mandatory to fill out or not, including if it is a numerical disclosure, whether it is displayed as percentage form or as an absolute value. And here we have various options for configuration. With these configuration possibilities, we can very flexibly generate various GIPS reports. Okay, so now we enter the process of generating this GIPS report. Okay, we are now here. This is our default configuration, which is the first GIPS compliant report in 2016. And it also retroactively covers 5 years. And this is the first year. So, of course, we have to start from 2016. And we can see that currently there is no fund that complies with the GIPS report or has generated a GIPS report. Now we need to see, in order to generate the GIPS report, it's clear that we definitely need to first check if the original data is complete. So here, let's click and take a look. Oh, okay. There are a total of 6 funds that should be included in the GIPS report. Fund A is not included. Is very likely that, for example, after 2016, a new fund was created, so no need to, we found, okay, the data for funds C, D, as please is complete, but the data for fund B is incomplete, it's missing some data. Then we can click here and we arrive here and we check what data is missing. We check here, go. Turns out we don't have the data from the end of the year 2011, so we'll just enter 80's data here. 2025 is fine because we're doing a 2016 GIPS report here. Let's generate, then go back, and after going back, checking him. Now we find, okay, this data has been supplemented. So that means if we repeat that operation and fill in all the other missing data, then from B, including F and G, can all be included in the report. We won't perform each operation here. Okay, so now we click into 2016. Here you can see an overview of a report. The system has automatically generated two empty reports. One's for closed-end funds and one for open-end funds. Then of course, they are all in an empty status report, and they are also still in a draft state. So here we will edit the first report. We click here. Okay, here we need to add some disclosure information about this fund. We can just input something here. Okay, casually enter some things, so at least fund disclosures are required here. So, okay, after we fill it out, we proceed to this next statement. In this case, because this is a closed-end fund pool, only closed-end funds can be included. It also needs to have C-words used to, if they belong to the same type of funds, then we can include them in the same fund pool, and we can put them in. Let's use an example here like this. We then, after selecting the fund, the next step is to check if there is any missing information regarding exchange rates. Currently, there is no exchange rate information in the system, as we can click here to read the missing exchange rate information through the API interface. Of course, if you feel like, wow, you have a specific exchange rate value you want to use, for example, if you want to use euro, if you want to use the European Central Bank's data or a specific country's central bank exchange rate data, you can also make changes in the configuration and it will be reflected here later. We don't need that here. Or like this, we can make a modification here, for example. Okay, then the next step involves some numerical disclosures, and this is not mandatory, so we have to manually click to add it, and then there will be a disclosure here. We can add some numbers at will and then proceed to the next step. Okay, the next step is filling in a benchmark or some information for the fund, because according to GIPS standards, here you must provide some benchmark information. You can choose. If there is a benchmark, you need to fill in your benchmark values. So if not, you should explain the reason. Here, we'll choose the simpler option, not providing benchmark information, and explain the reason. Okay. Then next, we can directly generate the GIPS report. This GIPS report includes the two funds just selected. So this information just entered is directly reflected here, including the various details inputted earlier. Then here, a very good feature is that it can be displayed on the web or exported as a PDF. At the same time, there's a very powerful feature, which is exporting to Excel. You can try it here. Okay, let's export to Excel. Let's open this Excel. Then we will find that this Excel is not just a simple export of results, but it completely and thoroughly includes the entire calculation process. Completely displayed, including how it is calculated step by step. All the formulas are included, along with the original data, making it a very comprehensive Excel process. So I'd say it's very powerful. I mean, generally speaking, manually creating search in Excel requires a certain amount of work. And since it involves a lot of calculations, sometimes human errors can easily occur. Here it is completely automated. Okay, then back here, for example, we have now generated this GIPS report, and if we see no issues with this report, we can confirm it. And it will change from a draft status to a completed status. So this completed state means that among the 6 funds for which we need reports, 2 have already completed KIB, Here we can take a look at its progress bar. We have completed it, right? Out of 6, I think we have completed 2. If we gradually complete the original data and include all the funds in this report, then in the end, it will be 100% complete. That is to say, our GIPS report for the year 2016 is completed. If this is completed, we can follow the guide drawings and proceed with the report for the next year. Then we can have the report for the year 2017. It's basically this process. Through such a process, then it can be completely complied with the GIPS report, including its corresponding requirements. Okay, the